as we Penny, we can hear you. We can't see you right now.
Okay, that's fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, we're good.
We're good. So as we talk to Penny DeShields, 300th career win not too long ago, run through kind of what that meant to you and what it meant to the program to get that win under your belt.
I mean, it's definitely a milestone in your coaching career, but I really didn't focus on it. I honestly, at the end of last year, my husband and I talked about where I was at career-wise because I've been coaching for quite a while. And he said, you're really close to 300. I really didn't have any idea. That's not something I focus on. My focus is more on building the program. I had a 5-year plan a while ago, and that plan has taken a little longer than I wanted to, but it's still in process, and we've been above 500 and had a winning season for the past, I want to say 4 or 5 years. So we're on that path to getting it where it needs to be.
Coach DeShields, I think there's no doubt too what you've done in the sport of volleyball has been absolutely incredible. I had a chance to go see Louisville play the Falcons earlier, and I saw that your name also in the record books there as well. Talk to me a little bit about your time with the Lady Leopards and what you learned from that experience that kind of carried over to West Branch, and how has that time with Louisville made you a better coach now?
Louisville gave me my first head coaching experience at a very young age. I had only coached freshmen here at West Branch under the Sue Dees, who was also my high school coach, and I'm the second coach in the history of West Branch volleyball. Sue Dees was the first, and I'm the second. But my time at Louisville, I was blessed to get that position. I was blessed with numerous athletes. We were in the regionals 3 times. It definitely. I learned a lot. I had to learn a lot on my own at that time because, like I said, I had just been a freshman coach. But it definitely, I thank Louisville today for those 8 years they gave me, and all the girls that I had the pleasure of coaching, and some of those now still coaching. The head coach there now, Alyssa Lanzo, actually played for me. She was on one of our regional teams. And her JV coach, Shelby Hostetler, is also was on one of our regional teams. So I'm still in contact with them, but that definitely made me grow. The things I brought from Louisville to West Branch was the winning mentality. When I came back to West Branch, the program was in a slow decline. So those expectations, those summer workouts, that energy, that passion that I gained from being at Louisville, I definitely brought to West Branch, along with that passion and my steadfast love for West Branch volleyball, having played in the program also.
Let's talk about this team now that you're coaching this year. They're having a very successful season, not an extremely experienced team, just 2 seniors on the squad. Talk about what you've seen from the girls and what are some of the things that have led to the success that you've had this year?
We have, like you said, 2 seniors. Sydney Mercer is definitely a dynamic player. Sydney she'll be what do I want to say? I think she's going to be a 4-year letter winner. She didn't start for us as a freshman. She got a little bit of playing time, but from her sophomore year on, she's definitely, she's one of the most competitive girls I've coached in a long time. She reminds me a lot of myself. Every ball that's set to her, she wants a kill. Every serve that she serves, she wants an ace. But I think the biggest reason for our success and her having the ability to do that are the people around her. She has 2 nice middles in Claire Bruner and Olivia Showalter. She has, we moved McKaylin Fitz out to the right side. And this is probably, in my 16 years here, this is probably one of the top 3 passing teams I've had. In volleyball, if you can't pass, your hitters really can't do a whole lot. So I would say our passing, having a plethora of passers. We really don't have a lot of bad passers on the team. So definitely passing has been a positive for us.
Since you brought up Sydney and she's up for Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley, I just want to give you a chance to shout out West Branch Nation and give some reasons why people should go out and vote for her to win Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley this week.
Yes, I actually posted that on my social media too. I was very excited to see her on there. And I will do a little line too. My son is up. Drew DeShields is up on the same ballot for football. So it was kind of easy to support our West Branch athletes. But Sydney is, when you watch her play, it's one of those things Michael Jordan used to say, He had that saying that, every time he steps on the floor, he plays as hard as he can, because you never know if that's the only time that person in the stands is going to get to see you play. There's no doubt in my mind Sydney takes that mentality to the floor. And when people leave the gym after they've watched her play, she's the player they are saying, wow, the athleticism, the way she jumps, her hits. I mean, you leave the gym talking about watching Sydney Mercer play volleyball.
Coach, looking at your schedule too, as we wind down towards the end of it too, one of those games that we saw recently that has kind of been a thorn in the side of a lot of YSN teams this year in Marlington. We see them have some big wins over teams such as Hoban, but also handing Fitch their first loss earlier this season. Talk to me a little bit about Marlington, what makes them so tough, and what you're kind of looking for to try to go against them going forward in your career.
Yeah, a lot of respect for the Marlington program. They do one thing that this year, which they've had in the past too, she has a high number of seniors. They have 6 seniors. They tend to stay in the program, and those girls come up together. We definitely need to. That was probably, if I look back, definitely one of our worst passing games we've had. We were unable to get the ball to Sydney and our other playmakers in order to keep them off balance. They run a really quick offense, which is really good in their gym. I don't know if you've been in their gym. They have that low ceiling. Our offense is more of a slower tempo, high passes, high sets, and then putting the ball down and not giving the other team a chance. We want to control the tempo, and that's going to be difficult for us to do when we go to Marlington with the environment of the low ceilings. So we're definitely going to have to work on quickening our game up and definitely work on our blocking. We are a better blocking team than we showed that day. So those are a couple things: improving the passing, quickening our offense, and definitely stronger blocking.
Coach, we have to bring up your family and the what they're doing at West Branch right now. Walt doing what he's doing with the women's program, you getting your 300th win. We've all seen what Drew's doing on the football field. What explain to me the dynamic of the home life and maybe what you guys are putting in the water in the DeShields house to have such successful people in it. Just talk about this family dynamic and what it's like.
Well, Drew's the youngest of 3. His 2 older brothers, TJ, who's now at Sul Ross, quarterbacking at Sul Ross State in Texas. Kip, who played at YSU as a pitcher. He spent 2 years in St. Petersburg. I would tell you that if you would come to our house on any given day, we talk sports. It's not just playing sports. It's hard to watch any sport in our house without it being broken down and saying, why is this happening? And it's always critiquing and cutting things up, and it's constant learning. We have a hard time playing cards in our household without arguing because we're all so competitive. It's the passion and love for sports and always getting better and gaining more. But I've always told the boys, all 3 of them, to always stay humble. I refer to the Bible verse, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but those who are exalted will be humbled. Those who are humbled will be exalted. And that's something I've preached to them, to be great teammates. Walt has too. Sometimes I think we're coaches more than we're parents, and we really have to be careful with that, that we need to be the parents too. But they love the competitiveness, and Drew's definitely blessed with having 2 older brothers that are very supportive and want the best for him, and he learned from them. They all 3 grew up in the gym. Kip and TJ were in the gym at Louisville for the 8 years I was there, around sports. It's just something that we love to do, and it's a passion of ours.
I don't think there's any case to looking back at your volleyball team and the success that you guys have had this season, beating some of the area's best this season. But I think some coaches almost like, especially in a case where everyone gets in, when you have a game sort of like Marlington's, where you could find those chinks in your armor before the tournament starts. So looking at what you saw in Marlington, you talked about needing to get the ball to your top kill getters. Is there anything else you really want to see with this team improve upon before the tournament starts?
Definitely. Walt and I use this word a lot. I would like this team to realize the swagger. They're allowed to have swagger. I think they question their ability. They are young. I mean, Adele Peters was our libero from the time she was a freshman. Claire Brunner's played from a young age. They need to value and feel that they are confident, and they're allowed to have a little bit of swagger. They're allowed to be, to have that chip on their shoulder. And I think sometimes they don't realize that as good as they can be, as good as they already are. I don't think anyone expected us to be where we're at this point in the season. But I think last year, I don't know if you guys remember, last year we went up to Mentor Lake Catholic and took a set from them to start. And that was huge for this program. It's been a long time since they've been in the district semis. And they just kind of built from that. But I think I wish that the one thing I want for them is to realize you are good. Put that chip on your shoulder and have a little swagger at the same time, but still stay focused on the goal that we have at hand. And that's, getting better every time we step on the floor.
We were talking about it today because some teams have a week off this week before they get ready for the next game. And volleyball is such a next game sport. You have 3 or 4 games in a week, not a lot of time to get back in the gym and correct things. How do you guys navigate that in a week where you might have 4 games and you don't get a lot of gym time to get back into as a group to correct things, and you have to kind of correct things on the fly?
You have to limit what you're looking at. You can't correct everything, so you got to pick that one or maybe 2 things, and that's what you focus on that next practice. I think sometimes, I know I made that mistake early in my career. I'm like, we make a list of 10 things that we need to work on. Well, that's too overwhelming for the players. And the older I've gotten and the more experience I have, you pick those 2 most impactful things that need to be fixed or corrected or worked on. And that's what you focus on for that time in the gym.
I think as you can speak on this, Coach DeShields, no 2 teams, no matter if they're same players on it or not, seem to be the same from year to year. What is so unique about this West Branch volleyball team?
That's a tough question. That is a hard question. I think I would say their unselfishness. We don't have a deep bench, and we are definitely blessed, and I should knock on wood, that we haven't had injuries this year, because I dressed 10 girls, now 11. I brought up a freshman to dress a little bit just to get experience. But we've been blessed with not having any injuries at this point. I think it's their unselfishness to change positions. Like I said, Adele Peters was our libero. She's no longer our libero. She's an outside hitter and plays DS. Michaela Fitz leaving the middle and going to the right side. Claire Bruner leaving the right side and going to the middle. They've accepted those changes, knowing that it's what's best for our team this year. That could change next year. They may be in a different position. So I definitely would say, I think the uniqueness of not saying, well, I don't want to play there. I'm a middle, or I'm an outside. They've taken the new roles, embraced them, and work to get better at it every day.
Before we let you go, I just want to give you the time to shout out the staff that you have and the people that work for you under the program, and all the people that kind of make West Branch volleyball what it is, because we know as much as coaches get the limelight, you have a lot of people helping you.
Yeah. My assistant coach this year is Alyssa Lanzo, which she's Strube now. She just got married in August. She's been with me for 5 years. She was our JV coach. I actually have a brand new JV coach, Cameron Butcher. This is her first year. She coaches basketball at Fairless. My middle school staff has been up and down, but the one consistent person has been Sis Woods, who is a name at West Branch that everybody knows. Sis actually coached me when I was in high school, and she does a great job with our young players. But I can't forget our athletic department. I can't forget, this is my first year I took on I'm now the assistant principal at the high school. So the support of Mr. Coffey in the front office and the secretaries, Diane and Corey, and of my family. I mean, without Walt being there, and we do a lot of talking, and he's very supportive. I can't forget, I mean, he's pretty much my mainstay behind me all the time. And then, of course, my boys. The boys give me it when they come watch. They tell me what they think of the game and who needs to be doing what. So they're definitely important to the program too. And then all the support staff. We have a clock person. I have Mr. Showalter does our clock. Miss Woods does Tiffany Woods does our book. And the parents, they work the concession stand. Without everybody, the program wouldn't be where it's at. And we wouldn't be able to sustain this, the high standard of play we have.
You talk about this community support, and you talk about everything that West Branch has been able to do for not only you, but your entire family. My final question for you today, Coach DeShields, is it's really simple. You've been there 300 plus wins, hopefully many, many more to come as well. But what has been your favorite thing about not only coaching West Branch volleyball, but being part of the West Branch community?
And that's another tough question. There's so many things. It would be hard to say one. I grew up down the street from West Branch High School. I've been here since kindergarten, and I had an opportunity, actually almost left this year, to go be an assistant principal at Niles in the middle school. And some God answered a prayer or something. I guess he knew I should be here. But I just think that just the overall, the love, like, this is what I know, this is what I love. I'm not sure, even when I was at Louisville, and I learned so much. I think every coach should coach someplace else. I really do, that the things you learn from other places, and to know that, I think it's just something about West Branch, that small town community support, the good, wholesome girls. I'm sure all programs have them. I just haven't been to all those programs. So I just think it's not so much, it's just the people, the love of the community. I know it's everywhere, so I don't want to say that West Branch, it isn't anywhere else, because it is. I look at a lot of successful programs and a lot of successful communities that do the same thing for their sports. I'm just blessed to be in the position I'm in right now at West Branch.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Obviously, we know how busy your schedule is. We appreciate the time, and we look forward to talking to you again and seeing much more success out of this program.
Thank you for having me. You guys have a great rest of the day.